So I'm doing dehydrating some ginger today. So actually got quite a bit of them. I got quite a bit. So I think this cost me $4. So this amount cost me $4, and it goes by the weight, right? And so what I do, and you know when the ginger is just the right, what would you say, freshness, right? It will be heavy. Well, I prefer, when I buy the light one because the cost is based on the weight. And so I buy the ones that are like kind of fallen to the bottom, and they're very, very light, and that's what these are. They're very light, and I find that the taste is a lot stronger. So the ginger is stronger the lighter the ginger is. So I'm going to dehydrate some today. There's a couple of ways to dehydrate it. You can dehydrate it as a coin, or what I'm starting to do is I'm starting to dehydrate it literally in a French fry shape. Okay, so cutting and it's time consuming. It really is. Anyway, like French fries. And I dehydrate it, and that way it's easier to put in a little container and carry with me. I have a little pouch. And when I go on my walks, my 8-kilometer walks, I will take that with me. And if I start to feel dizzy or nauseous, because of the heat, then I'll pop in a ginger. So, and it works. But it is an acquired taste, so be aware of that. It's an acquired taste. Sorry, I've got one of those little light things, the lights that you hang down for the camera. And I'm attempting. So with one set of lights, my eyes look really dark, and my eye, it's not, but they look right here, they look very dark. So I don't know. Let's see what it looks like really bright. A ghost. It's a little bit lighter, a little better. I'm so bad at this, and I don't even care. Anyway, so I've got all of these that I have to cut. So I've got 5 of them, and I'm going to stack them, and I'm going to dehydrate it. So, so what I've been doing is I've been cutting them in like little French fry shapes, and then putting them on the dehydrator. So I'll show you what that's like after I get enough of them, because it is time consuming, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to dehydrate them. Okay, I'll be right back. I do have to tell you this. When you're cutting ginger, okay, when you cut ginger has got very fine hairs in it. And you can cut, if you cut down this way with the hairs going, so if you cut down this way and the hairs are going this way, right, it makes it hard to cut. And it's hard to take it apart because the hairs literally hold the root vegetable together. So what I do is I cut it lengthwise. I take the ginger and I cut it lengthwise, right, with the grain of the hair. So this is what I've done with the grain of the hair. And then you're able to cut it easier. See? You can see the hairs, right? There's one of the hairs right there. But you cut it like a French fry. So it works a lot better. It's a lot easier and a lot more, it's faster. It's more productive. You're able to get this done. Like if you're cutting in coins, it's going to take forever. So cut it in French fries. It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier. Okay, so excuse the glasses hanging down, but when you do it like French fries, they're easier, it's more efficient, it gets done quicker. And if you don't have a dehydrator, like I have a plastic dehydrator, right? It's like that heavy plastic. Anyway, it works really good. But you can use your oven. You take your ginger, you cut it up like little French fries. And I mean the crispy, the thin French fries you can buy, McCain's. Anyway, you cut it up really thin, you put it on here, or you put it on a metal tray with a piece of parchment paper at the bottom, then put on your ginger, and then put in the oven, and put it on broil, put it on low broil, and keep it low, like keep your grill inside your oven, keep it on the bottom rack, and then put your broil on low so that it literally just heats it and dehydrates it, and that works amazing. Now, a dehydrator literally blows like hot air into it and dehydrates it that way, but I choose to do it this way because it holds a semi-form, and I can put it in a bottle. And then when I go for my walks, my 8-kilometer walks, I take a little bag, a little mesh bag, and I put some ginger in. And all it takes is one. It takes one, and you chew that. Now, if you're trying to quit an addiction, let's say you're a smoker, and you're trying to quit smoking, or let's say you overeat, you can literally trick your body. So you would chew the ginger every time you get a craving, whether it's for food, alcohol, whatever, right? You replace that craving with a piece of ginger, and you literally chew it until it breaks down into the fibers, to the hairs, and you swallow those hairs, because those hairs act as roughage, and they go through your intestine and your bowel and literally clean it out. So I stand by this. I sing the praises of this. I have not smoked for... it must be going on 9 years now, if not longer. Like, I can't even think. I think I had a heart attack 8 years ago, a stroke like shortly after that. It was when I had the strokes that I realized that, you know what, I gotta fix this. And so it's been that long. It's got to be 9 years by now that I haven't smoked, and no cravings. When I walk past someone who's smoking, it just makes me sick to my stomach. It makes me nauseous. And I also think, how other people are dealing with. When you're walking down the street and you're going for a walk, you're trying to get fresh air into your lungs after having smoked for 47 years. That's what I want. I want to exercise my lungs. I want to give them that healthy air. Well, where do you get healthy air nowadays? So I go for my walk. I think that's the best I can do, right? And I'm walking beside a damn road, like, seriously. So, I'm doing the best that I can do. But when you have somebody who's walking in front of you, and they're walking real slow, and they light up a cigarette, I do the best I can do to cross the damn road, or to walk further away from them, or to walk in front of them. And I've even had to say to some people, do you mind? I have cancer. I need to be away from that. And they'll kind of look at me like, who the f*** are you? And I was thinking, who am I? I'm smart. That's who I am. So, you know what? I walk in front of them. I said, sorry, and I'll just walk in front, right? Just, can I go by then? Do you mind if I go by because I'm getting your vapors? And some people are nice and some people are mean. They go like, what? Yeah, whatever. So I walk in front, or I try to limit as much exposure to that crap as possible. And after I had my stroke, I had to replenish my gut microbiome, because cigarettes, nicotine will totally kill your microbiome in your gut. It will. And the microbiome in your sinuses, the microbiome in your mouth. I mean, you're putting that shit in here. Even in your eyes. You have microbiome in your eyes, but you're not taking care of it because the smoke's seeping up into your eyes. Well, I'm going to tell you something else. They're doing construction outside my apartment. And I've been noticing a fine yellow dust on everything in my apartment, on my patio, on my plants. And so I'm doing the best that I can to keep that down, right? When they're going to be doing certain work with the tools and I hear it and it's loud and I know that it's going in the air, I'm going to get it. So I'll close that window. But I also have a fan, things like that. So you have to protect your insides from the outside world. Like, it's a bloody truth. It's a bloody truth. So when they say in the Bible, the meek shall inherit the earth, I'm kind of thinking the meek might be inside us, because our gut microbiome is totally destroyed by the crap in the world. The sinuses, the problems with people having a lot of problems with their tooth care, with their bones. Whatever's out here goes in here. Be aware of that. So anyway, ginger will help you if you need to quit smoking and you need to quit an addiction. It will help if you're overeating. Every time you get a craving for sugar, which is addictive. It's addictive. And it makes money for those big companies, right? And don't think the pharmaceutical companies don't have their hand in the products that are made of sugar. Don't think, because they more than likely do. Yeah. They even make supplements that have more sugar in them than they have supplements, because people don't like the taste, right? But it's still keeping you addicted to the sugar, because supplements that have sugar added are just as unhealthy as just taking a spoonful of sugar. So I give up. I do me, you do you. Anyway, that's how I dehydrate my ginger, and it works. It's very efficient. I still have tons of ginger to cut up. It is very time consuming, but you know what? It's bloody worth it. It's bloody worth it. And I'll tell you, I'm not going to stop. I wish I had compost, because I have all this wonderful ginger peelings. And I've heard of them making tea from the ginger peelings. However, these are treated with pesticides and all sorts of little critters, right? So I'm not going to dehydrate these. I'm going to toss them. And hopefully they'll end up in a landfill somewhere and help things rot, because ginger helps. If you ever smell ginger that's rotted, it's a foul smell. But you know what? It adds magnesium to the soil. So it would be nice if it didn't have a lot of pesticides, but you go with what you got. So anyway, this is all going in the garbage, which eventually will make it to a landfill, I hope, and help disintegrate some of that garbage that's being thrown down in the soil. So I'm going to get back on these and stop like blah blah, and I've got lots of work to do. So the first couple of tiers of the ginger has finished dehydrating, and so I'm going to show you that. And every one that I did the coin, they basically shriveled up. Okay, they basically shriveled up. I'm trying to find one. The ones that I did of coins, they just got really tiny, and like you're not going to believe you're not going to believe this. Look at, that's one of the coins. Yeah. So the French fry ones are dried up like little fine hairs. They almost look like those fine noodles that you can get from the Chinese food from the East Indian store, or the dried noodles that they sell for their soups.